Thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Rhadamant Plays Stationeers Venus, which originally aired live on Twitch. Let's get started. Alright, so let's get the data ports of these. So if you take a look here, the data port is on the right, the electric port is on the left. I'm going to have my data ports facing sunrise. This part's kind of important. There we go. Data port's facing sunrise. And I probably don't have enough resources to do solar automation yet, but at the very least, what I can do is cable this up. Let's grab 2 glass. Turn all the things off that we don't need on. It was 500 kilowatts? Yeah, whatever it is, it's like a ridiculous amount of power, right? And then we'll want to run these cables from up here and route the power down to our battery so that we can store it. And I'm gonna leave this one open, this last tower open for now. I have enough. I made it really tall so that mountains can't block it as easy, but it does mean that I need a little bit more cabling. All right, at this point, we'll want to have it towards the base like this. There we go. I'm not going to have enough copper to finish this off perfectly. Was pretty close. So it needs to feed into this port here. Hey, Jim Bob, thanks for the bits. How long will thrust last? I have it's actually right here. You can see my 4700 kPa jetpack. So as long as it has fuel, but fuel is not an issue for me because your jetpack by default is nitrogen gas. And Venus's atmosphere is partially nitrogen, which means I can just suck up nitrogen. I mean, it doesn't actually matter what your jetpack propels out of. It doesn't need to be propellant. You can fill your jetpack full of whatever gas you want, and it will just thrust you forward. So, to that end, jetpack, let's call it fuel, I guess, is infinite, unless you're on like the moon or space. Because if you're on the moon or space, there's no atmo, and then you can't just, create gas out of nothing. But on every other celestial body, there is some sort of atmosphere that you'll be able to suck for jetpack propulsion. So yeah, if you wanted to make it out of, you could have your jetpacks. Like one of the things that you want to do maybe late game is to have your jetpack be fueled with the same exact gas mixture as the base that you live in. So like, let's say you want a base that mimics Earth's atmosphere, you might want a jetpack that is 79% nitrogen, 1% CO2, and 20% oxygen or something like that. That way, if you use your jetpack inside your base, you only are pushing out atmosphere, breathable atmosphere, right? Because if you have your jetpack, let's say, all nitrogen, and you use your jetpack in your base, you're just going to be shoving nitrogen into your base. So you can, the game allows you to use whatever you want as fuel. Hey, Rasip, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. And in this game, some of the gases... Oh, sun's coming up. Yep. Let's get a little bit more copper then. Some of the gases in this base are, like, dangerous to your health. If you breathe X, which is chlorine, you just kind of die. So Venus's atmosphere is partially X, a tiny amount, but any amount is, like, pretty fatal. I don't care about my filter. And now with this giant tower, it's also just easier to sort of find where I live, right? I have this giant beacon that tells me, which is pretty cool. All right, let's switch belts and close the base. Actually, I could close the doors this way. That might be easier. Done. All right, now let's make sure that we are capturing this solar power that our panels up there will have vision of soon, and that's really easy. All it is just finishing a little cable here and there. Technically, I'm done. So let's turn on this battery, and you'll see the battery, once the sun starts to hit the solar panels, start to charge. It would be better, arguably, if I had the tracking AI, but I'll work on getting the materials for the tracking AI during the day, so that I can track during the night. I could set up the tracking during the night. But if we wanted to analyze what kind of power this is generating, which is like 0 right now, we haven't hit sun yet. It's behind the mountain. Oh, yep, here it goes. It's starting to crest. And what you'll see this battery start to fill up. And this thing holds what, like 9 megawatts, I think. Yep, 9 megawatts. It's a lot of power. What am I doing? I am putting my filter away. No, there is no terraforming of the planet. That's not even a realistic goal for an individual to accomplish in a human lifetime, right? That is so beyond what one person could do. Come on. Now, I would, if I had the automation set up, I would be generating power with these panels, but these panels aren't pointed towards the sun, so I have to kind of wait until the sun is pointed at it. Let's go to the yellow lighting to mimic the Atmo. Depends on how long they live. I guess so. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now we're starting to generate power. So as you can see, we have 50 watts or so, and it's going to go up as the sun crests. And then power comes out of this output here, which means that this old output that we had, yeah, it's going to get ripped up. Totally. So let's go do that. Chunk. So then we have to decide exactly where we put our APC. So this APC is going to be the base's power supply.
Air tank low.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, it really is low.
Air tank critical.
You're fine. Air take's done. So I'd like it on the wall because it's less messy. But it does, if it's on the wall like this, it will require considerably more cables. But that's why I got all that copper. So let's do that. So this battery is copper. Oh, chicken and the egg. One of the problems I'm going to have right now is a lack of cables. So I have to tear up cables to be able to plug things in again. It mentioned atmospherics. That means atmospherics in your base atmospherics. Like balancing the atmospherics in your base so that you can plant plants or breathe without a suit on. That's the kind of atmospherics that the game allows you to do. It allows you to pressurize enclosed spaces. It does not, however, allow you to change the terraforming of the planet. At least not yet, and probably never, because that's not even a realistic thing to do. And this game is very based in psi. So you'll see that the kit battery here is going to now be charging this battery cell large. Another thing that I should probably do is make... Actually, it feeds into an APC. It should be fine. APCs act as a transformer. Ooh, I'm dehydrated. And then this charges. And then what I need to do then is out the bottom of this, this is the cable for the base's power. So I'll come out here or so. And this is the cannibalism I'm talking about. For me to make new cables, I need to plug this stuff in, right? So some of this stuff is just going to be ripped up temporarily, so I can make cables to plug it in. All right, so now I have all the things in the base plugged in except for this stuff, right? We have external temperature and stuff like that. So I should be able to flick this on and print some more cables. And the first thing I'll do is replace the cabling that I ripped out. And the next is to set up my airlocks with the power controller. So I'll switch sides here, put it over here or something. Just because it's nice and, well, maybe I don't want to hide it that much. I'll take that back. I'll just leave it here. Keeping in mind that, like, I'm cranking cables out with my back turned, but it's fine. I need cables like crazy. Then the battery charger here. All right, let's stop this now. The battery charger... I guess I could put a battery charger in here. That's fine. So is this power input? Yeah. Let's move that one over, actually. Put a battery charger in here. That'll work better. Okay. Grabbing all these cables. Three-way corner. And then this just connects up to everything else. And it's not, at this point, now that I have these solar power panels, I could leave this on so I can operate my my doors without a crowbar, which helped me traverse a little faster. Still too hot out to go out, though. My suit battery, I'm going to swap. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Ha! And the game's like, null exception. Got pissed at me. So, the question is, how much power is in this battery, right? We have 300 kilowatts of power now stored either in this battery here or this kit battery. So we did pretty well. With multiplayer, do you all work on the same base? It's up to you. One of the things I will say is in multiplayer, you only get one lander unless you dev mode another lander in, which means that the starting resources you have to be shared. So if you don't, if you don't work together, you die or whatever. But like, it's up to you if you want to dev mode in another lander. You could play multiplayer on multiple bases or whatever. All right, so now we're gonna set up sun tracking automation. So let's get 3 memory units. Hey, Hatback. Welcome to the stream. Oh, yeah, so we drained enough power. Let's turn this off, because I actually don't have a ton of power. We drained enough power out of our kit battery that it no longer has charge. We killed it. So the solar tracking is going to be really, really important to make your solar power panels efficient. Right now, my solar power panels are probably running at like 15% efficiency or something like that. And if I set up tracking, they'll run at like 99% efficiency. So next thing, we're going to do input-output. Two input-output circuit kits. Hope I'm doing well. I am. I haven't died yet, so that's well, right? Am I not going to wire in the old solar power panel? No, I don't think so. It's just not that good compared to the new ones. The old one can't be it can't be wired to like track the sun or whatever. Let's change the lighting. There we are. We're nice and dimmed. What's the other one? Input circuit. Logic. We want processor. And then you want 3 processors. And then I'm going to want a solar tracker, too. A sensor. So 3 mem, 3 processors, 2 logic IOs, and a sensor. I'm also going to need, like, mad cables, and I definitely don't have mad cables right now. But I'll have 72 copper left, which is, 144 cables. That should be fine. So let's print up some cables. While we print that, I'll top my water up. My food. Don't I need 2 sensors? So I know what you're talking about, but no. So you would need 2 sensors if you're doing vertical and horizontal tracking, but Venus, the sun goes straight over the horizon as if I'm on the equator on Venus. So you don't need horizontal tracking on Venus. You would need horizontal tracking on Mars or Europa or Vulcan, but on Venus you only need vertical tracking. You can do dual access off of 1 sensor too, yeah. You just need to read the horizontal and vertical angle off of a single sensor, which is fine to do. But on Venus, I don't need horizontal tracking at all, because as you've seen multiple day cycles, the sun goes straight overhead, which means there's no horizontal offset. So for everyone else that doesn't know, sometimes on some planets, the sun won't be straight overhead, like it's, the summer solstice or whatever. It will go at an angle. And then not only does your solar panel need to track up and down the day-night cycles, it also needs to track at an angle for the angle of the sun. Here on Venus, you don't have that sun angle. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. So that makes it a lot easier. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this APC, for better or for worse, because I want the APC to run as battery backups for my solar tracking. So, solar tracking. Oh, I didn't make a sensor. Let me go make that. And I think you probably have seen, I'm out of iron. Am I? Oh no, I'm not out of iron. I've been very, very careful as to shut off everything that I've powered up. As soon as I get the solar tracking done and a few more solar power panels printed up, like, my power woes are over. Like, 100% over. I can waste as much power as I'm going to want. I'm just not at that point yet. In fact, I could even turn off this temperature sensor because it's, well, nighttime and I don't really need to know the temperature. So let's put, oh man, if memory serves, daylight sensor needs to be towards sunrise. So let's put it here, daylight sensor, and I'm gonna put it like that. Then we're gonna set up our memory 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna want to set up my area power controller like this, and we're gonna put a backup battery in here at some point, so that even if the power gets cut to my base, like if I run out or whatever, our solar tracking has its own battery that it, you know, I can track the sun even with no power in the base. That way I can generate power, worst case scenario. Then I'm going to want a logic reader. Oops, that's too close. The logic reader is going to read the solar angle. It doesn't matter if it's upside down. And then I'm going to want a batch writer. Yep, I'm going to want a batch writer. And then grab my processing units. My processor units, what am I going to need? I'm going to need 2 math units and a min-max. The min-max is not really necessary, but it can't hurt. So here's the min-max. We don't have to make that one upside down though. So I guess the power's on the top. So here's the math unit, another math unit, and then I'll put it here. Where is the min-max? The min-max. All right, so that's all of the things that I need to set up. Now, the next thing I need to do is start wiring them together. So let's have the wire start from here. And I waste a lot of wires, but whatever. This is not the most efficient way to wire these up. Actually, let me change that. I can really fix this. So all the ports need to be plugged in, and there's a bunch of ports. I'm just trying to do this before daybreak, so I can't over-explain it, because I'm focusing. I know. Junction. So each one of these ports is like an input and output type deal. So now it's all wired together, as you can see, every port plugged in. The next thing I need to do is to grab my my logic writer and start naming these things. So this is going to be logic memory, let's call it 100. And then I'm going to set the value of this memory to 100. This is going to be logic memory, let's do 1.5. And I'm going to set the value to 1.5. This will be logic memory 15. God, my jetpack keeps drifting. And then set the value to 15. This is going to be the logic reader daylight sensor. This will be the solar panel batch writer. This will be math 1, math 2, and math min-max is fine. I'll just leave that. All right, so the first step is your logic reader here, this thing. Oh, you know what? I don't have this wired on, so this is going to be a bit of an issue. But let's wire this in. The other problem is without the backup battery, this doesn't really do very much. So I'm going to have to get a backup battery in there too. So let's get that battery up. And I'm going to use the big battery that was here. And I'll have to make another big battery at some point. Oh, sunlight, go away. Oh my god, I hate you. So this is going to be, the input here is going to be the daylight sensor. Ooh. So, and then what I'm going to read is the vertical daylight sensor angle. So if you see here, the angle of the solar angle is 7 degrees. This is reading, or 6 degrees or whatever. This is reading that degrees. The memory here is going to be the daylight. You know what? I can't do this today because it's going to get too hot. Well, foo. I tried, but the sun beat me. How's my suit battery? My suit battery's okay. Because, yeah, we're going to have to just drip our power today. I say that because obviously the solar power panels aren't going to have any automation. One thing I can work on is if I have enough resources, that's the key. If I have enough resources, I could do oxygen filtering or make another battery. That might even be better. Large battery. Large battery requires steel, but I have enough steel that I can make it. So that's no problem. Yellow. I could have manually angled them, but it's all right. Right now, they're angled in the neutral noonday sun. Wire the flat panel just for today? That would be really, really, really challenging to do because the flat panel is here, installed outdoors. What I could do is I could wire it to this battery charger, I guess. But that's all I could wire it to. I couldn't really wire it to anything else because the rest of the input is over here. But yeah, I could wire to a battery. The battery charger. It's not going to do very much because I don't really know if I have a battery to charge on it. Oh no, my welder has a battery that could charge on it, I guess. Yoink. What other tools do I have? My drill. Yoink. There. Now we're using the flat solar. Okay, let's stick the big battery in. And this small battery can go into, I don't know, my drill. So as you can see, these are getting powered on now. And if I go to my tablet, I can see what kind of power this is generating. So my flat panel is generating 183. And my solar power panels up top are generating about 400 watts. I could do a straight cable across, but right now I'm actually drawing power from this flat. I could do a cable from here all the way across to this point. And in fact, I could get that wired up now. That's a fair point. It's ugly, but it's temporary. So let's do that. So it would look like this. Because this battery charger just finished up. It's fully charged. Do I get my cables back when you remove them? Yes, unless they're damaged. Regular cables like this, these red cables, can be damaged by either carrying too much wattage, where they'll fuse out and short circuit, or they can be damaged from being in too hot of an environment, where they'll burn up and set on fire, or they could be damaged from like a dangerous depressurization or explosion where they're just blown up. So, for instance, if I set up a canister of hydrogen and oxygen into my base and let it heat up to a dangerous temperature, it might explode and, you know, it would blow up a giant hole in my everything. I try generally not to do that because it's bad, but it happens. All right, let's see how many watts I'm actually making here. I'm making some kilowatts. I'm making 1.3 kilowatts, which is awesome because the flat here is generating some power too. And that's nice, I guess. I'm going to organize the base a little bit differently. Roink. I'll put my battery charger right here underneath my water. So water and power will be in the same sort of location. And this battery here is full. I will switch it out. I think one of my tools needs one of these batteries. What is it? My welder. So yeah, here's my one-stop shop of switching out my water and my batteries. I like it. There's not really a resting in comfort, no. There is, sort of. Once your base becomes habitable enough, you can take off your helmet and just live in your base without a suit on. That's comfort. But I'm not at that point yet. All right, so this other battery just fully charged too. So I'm not gonna have a power shortage, and we're still generating 600 watts. So taking a look at my current situation, my copper and gold and my iron and gold are low. First order of business when we get outside, and let me change my current project up there. Current project is going to be power grid. There we are. My current project is the power grid. So when we get outside, we're going to get our power grid automated. And then once we have an automated power grid, we can add some solar power panels, and then I'm not going to have to worry about power again. And then we'll figure out the next project after that. The next project after that's likely going to be something like oxygen recapture or oxygen outgas. So when you smelt and melt certain things, it can generate atmospheric gases, and we need some way to generate oxygen. Because to be able to make water is H2O. The H2 can come from volatiles that I mined from the surface of Venus. But the oxygen has to come from somewhere. So we need some way to gain oxygen. And I think I don't know. Eventually our method is going to be using plants to generate oxygen. But for now, we'll have to recapture it from our waste tanks to recycle it, and we'll have to capture outgas from our furnace It will be hot oxygen, but better to have a hot oxygen than no oxygen at all. So the top pipe in the furnace there, that's an output pipe, right where my cursor is, where you can melt things into the furnace and then capture the gases that outgas. Generally, it's like CO2, but it can be other helpful gases too. All right, what is the external temperature now? It's fine. Let's go on up and finish my AI solar tracking. So crowbar. Hey, heavy lift. Get out my screwdriver. So this is the vertical angle. And as you can see, the sun's about to set. So it goes from 0 to 180, right? So a vertical angle of roughly 173 is basically sunset. So this logically makes sense. The next thing we want to do with this is in a math unit, we want to have the input, one of the inputs here, the left input as the logic reader daylight sensor. And then this input here is going to be the memory 15. Oh my, can we stop drifting? Okay. And then what we're going to do is subtract it. Oh, bye-bye light. So now we take this number, 175, we subtract 15 off of it. And then we're going to take this math 1 as input over here. And then we're going to take the 1.5 memory here, wherever it is, there it is, and then we're going to divide it. And I'll explain once I'm done, like, what it... Whoa! Oh, God. Okay. I guess there is Venus storms. Okay, where's the base? Oh, dear Lord. This is real bad. Oh, let me in. Whew. Jesus. All right. Red mode now. Where'd that come from? Out of nowhere. Eventually you make a weather station to be able to predict storms. But I have no such weather station. So... Jesus. That was bad. The problem here is my waste tank's going to fill up with waste gas. Because the storm hit, and the temperature inside the base right now is 253 Celsius, which is hot. And the only way that my suit's going to be able to refrigerate, the only way my suit's going to be able to cool me down is to, like, just stuff my oxygen into the waste tank. So as you can see, my waste tank is gaining quick. Shake my fist at ye. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I just have to wait this out. I guess I could have a drink. I wonder how my oxygen, my water amount is doing. I should check. Let's check. How many moles do I have in here? 619 moles. You start off. Hydrate. Sounds good. My stuff isn't melting. Oh, I think the storm's over. Cool, that was a short storm. Your suit's pretty hardy. Its melt temperature's about 400, and it's not instant. It would give you some warning. So here, the input here is going to be math 1. The input 2 is going to be memory 1.5, and then it's going to divide. I guess I already set that up. Yep. And then the last thing here is going to be math 2 is input. And then the operation is going to be less than. And then this is going to be memory 100. And then the last thing, the input is going to be the this last one, the logic min-max. And then the output is not set. No, it's set up. So the output here, type is to all solar panel duals, and it's going to be the vertical angle. Turn that on. Now, the last thing I'm going to need to do is to angle this solar power panel manually a little bit. I think 90 degrees this way. And I'm obviously going to need to get more cables because I'm out. So let me go print up some cables real quick. Yeah, the pressure on Mars is, or on Venus is not true to true Venus, because true Venus you would just land and die. So instead of the 90,000 K or 9,000 kPa or whatever it would be, it's far, far, far less. All right, that's enough cables for now. So this, unless I did it wrong, will complete my solar tracking. I don't feel like I did it right, though. Let me double check my math. So the vertical angle is 80. Well, I guess I'll see coming sunup. So the other important thing for me to do is to gather some resources to smelt so that I can make more solar panels and that kind of thing. So let me focus on that. And then I can tweak the solar panels at sunup. And Omega, thanks for the bits. The little shamrocks. I like it. So we were low on gold and iron. I see the base. This isn't gold. Nope. Yep, you missed almost 3 hours. Alright, I'm avoiding the silicon just because I don't need it right now. I don't need more plastic. Or glass. That's a pretty healthy amount of iron I have now. Like 114 more. Let's try to find some gold. Here's nickel. Doesn't hurt to get... Oh, here's some gold. Yeah, I think it was just one little node of gold. The rest of this seems to be copper. Doesn't hurt to get a little copper, but I'm mostly choked on gold now. Opposite Midas. There are some lights on the tower so I could see it better, but that's not... I made the tower tall so that mountains can block it more than the light any, you know. Let's combine these. So it's a nice side effect of, you know, sort of targeting lights. But soon I'm going to have a tracking beacon, so I can track it more easily anyway. All right, now let's just focus solely on gold. So I live that way. Just keep that in mind. But I'm also going to want to be near the base when the sun comes up, so that I can tinker with the solar power panels, making sure they're angled the correct way, because I don't think they are. I'm almost certain they're not. It was either plus 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees, so what, you know. Yeah, here it comes. What is this? Oh, cobalt. And that's more cobalt. Come on, gold, quick. I don't have time. Something's coming up. Got to get the last of my gold. The thing is, if they're angled the wrong way, my solar power panels are going to be designed, or they're going to basically, what they're going to do is they're going to aim directly away from the sun and be worse than even if they didn't have AI. So that's why it's really, really important for me to like tinker with it before the sun comes up. Oh, there's a lot of coal over here. Oh, and more copper. Ah, here we are. Yellow time. So yes, they are exactly wrong as feared. So negative 90 degrees will do. Quick. And then crowbar, let's get inside. So I know I only have 2 solar panels up there, but as I will demonstrate in just a second, those 2 panels are going to be a lot more efficient now that they point towards the sun. So normally we would not even have power yet because the sun hasn't crested high enough. But as you can see, we are already cranking 720 watts out of these things because it's very, very hard to see, but the solar panels there are pointing straight at the sun. Is there a way to see their efficiency from the inside? Sort of. Their efficiency would basically be how many solar panels I have times 500 and then divide the actual by that amount. So right now they are 856 out of 1,000 efficiency. So if you want to do the math, you can. I could build a math unit to do the math for me, but like, that's fine. And they're not going to have full efficiency until the sun is like up a little higher. But even at not max efficiency, they're kind of free, right? I mean, that's the real kicker of solar is once you have them built, they're free. So now let's leave this tablet out and switch belts so I can start smelting. And we wanted to get iron and gold. So at this point, what we're aiming to do is just add more solar power panels so that our power woes are a thing of the past. Right, so we're at about 85% efficiency, yeah. And it will climb and it will vary because the calculations I did were imperfect. Do I forget the backup battery? Oh yeah, there's a battery up there that is also pulling power and being charged on its own. And if I want to charge that specifically, I could just turn off my battery here and that battery up there would charge faster. So there is that orange light right there. It's really, really, really hard to see, but it's right in the middle of my cursor. That's my my automation backup battery. Ideally, I would have this cable here, this cable right here, run all the way back up, and I'll do that once I have a little bit more copper. All right, next up, let's do more iron. So the reason I am smelting this stuff is so that I can make more solar panels. So I have enough for 2 more solar panels already. Right on. Actually, the iron isn't even needed for this. It's mostly just gold. Yeah, that up there has a large battery. Exactly. And now we're at we're beyond 1 kilowatt because this panel up here is generating power as well. So here's another panel I can make. And I'll work towards 9 panels. That will be my goal before I shift gears. So 1.17 kilowatts.
Waste tank. Caution.
Jesus Christ, my waste tank's just, I don't want to make 3 more. I think the next project's got to be oxygen recapture. It just has to be. I have too many waste tanks. So for that, I would need a portable tank connector made of iron. Hey, there's some gold stuck in here. Trying to hide from me, wasn't it? Let's smelt that too. All right, 2 more solar power panels. So this is a kit connector, and I'm going to connect my oxygen to it. I'm going to do that after I put my... Oh, good job, me. After I put my smeltables away. So here's 2 more solar panels. So now I have 4 solar panels, 6 in total. Let's check up on the power here. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Again. Yeah, 1.17 kilowatts. It's pretty nice. So oxygen. So what I'm going to need to do is print up an atmospherics kit, which would be in my pipe bender. So atmospherics is gold and copper. 5 gold, 20 copper. I don't even have the copper. Well, I'll have to smelt that. How do I not have the copper? Oh, because I've been making solar panels like crazy. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's power this down. So this entire base is pretty much just running off of 2 solar panels, and I'm about to add 4 more. That's probably more power than I need for quite a while, but I'll probably bring it up to 9. Isn't it -5 for eating without a table? It's -4, 3. But I have a table, it's just invisible. All right, let's get that gold or copper. There it is. So now this is an atmospherics kit. Atmospherics can do a bunch of different things. What I'm primarily going to have my atmospherics kit do is filter gases. Can you stop rolling? Whatever. You see me rolling. So what I want to do is I want to be able to empty out these waste tanks. I want to be able to take these waste tanks here, pull all the gases out of it, and filter the oxygen and put the oxygen back into this portable tank. This is going to be my oxygen lifeline tank, right? So what I need to do is I need to design a system that filters oxygen for me. So here's the atmospherics. And atmospherics can be either an air conditioner, a filtration device, an electrolyzer, or an H2 combustor. I obviously want filtration. So if you take a look here, let's have it, I don't want my layout like this maybe. So, no, I'm gonna rotate that again. So I'm going to put it here. And the way this works is the output here is what it filters. Oh, this is an air conditioner. Well, that doesn't help. The input is the gas that you want to filter. The unfiltered is just waste gas that is not what you're filtering for. And then the output is, the filtered is what you did want to have. So what I'm going to do is have this pipe connect like this. So now the filtered output will feed to the oxygen tank. The input here and then the waste tank, or the waste gas, which will literally just go outside. So that's the basic layout. Now, at this point, I need to make a tank canister holder, canister storage. Nice. Ah! Flings it at me. All right, so the canister here, I can stick one of these canisters in, and it will feed the gas in the canister into the filter, into the input. Then I need to actually make a filter, because I'm going to be filtering oxygen. So let's make a small oxygen filter. There it is. Boom. And then I need a passive vent. I don't need to keep the CO2 because Venus is mostly CO2. So I am definitely not at a deficiency of CO2. I have way crazy abundance. 93% of the atmosphere is CO2. So I can vent this CO2 out and not feel like I lost anything. So let's install it like this. I'm going to make sure that that is not blocked by the terrain, though. So for sensitive small mining, it's best to use the pick because it does just a little bit at a time, whereas the drill is like, I could, you know, totally deform the terrain. So that's done. Switch the belts. Let's do my tablet here. So if the tablet's correct, this pipe... Oh, I haven't actually wrenched this down, have I? All right, let's wrench that down. Actually, let's save first just in case I screw up. The first time I'd be safe scumming, so let's call this Venus 1. All right, turning this on. As you can see, this gas tank is 100% oxygen, 2.14 kilomoles of oxygen. All right, we'll wrench it down. And then the minute I wrench it down, it will share its oxygen with this pipe. So as you can see, it's 1.31 kilomoles of oxygen because some of the oxygen went into this pipe, which is fine, totally fine. I'm okay with that. These pipes here, this pipe here will be, because it's connected to a passive vent, will just be random atmospheric gas. So this is basically what it is outside. And then this pipe should be completely empty. Pipe network 22 should be empty. Now, what I need to do is wire up my filter so it has power. So let's do that next. Thank you all for watching Stationeers Episode 3, which originally aired live on Twitch. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream, Rhadamant.com has all of the information you need. Countdown timers, links to Twitch, links to Discord, etc. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch ya next episode. Farewell.